All right, good morning. We don't have a morning kitty in the bathroom, but we do have their poop, as always. Let's see where we're at. It is Saturday morning, 235.6. A little heavy today. All right, so it is Saturday morning, day 3, 235.6. So a bit heavier, quite a bit, pound and a half more than yesterday. And I think that's because I freaking crushed the calories by the end of the day. I'll post it up here. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it is over 6,000 calories and close to 300 grams of protein yesterday, which made sense after the big 55-minute run and the big pull day, the back and biceps day. So as far as soreness goes, man, I am still feeling crazy sore in my chest from the push day, which makes sense. It is one of my weaker body parts. After 4 years of rowing in college, I had no chest. And so building it up, chest is always getting me sore still, for years. As far as the back goes, the back training that I was used to doing before I started this official journey was I did a lot of lats training. So a lot of, training for the big, wide part of the back muscles, but the middle back muscles have always been kind of a strong point for me. So the last few months I haven't been training them at all. And those muscles are worked through a lot of the stuff like the T-bar rows and stuff we were doing on camera in the last video. And so my middle back is really sore because it hasn't really been worked a lot. So we've got leg training today though, which is exciting. It should be tough. The legs definitely need some work. I know you can't see right now, but they're definitely one of the body parts that I'm looking to grow. Only thing with leg training, and maybe this is you that you've experienced this as well, is that I've gotten to the point where my legs get big to the point where the thigh rub, it hurts to walk, and I have to walk with wide legs. I know that's a big problem for a lot of females too, but it's so uncomfortable when that happens. So I gotta figure out ways to get past that once the thighs get big enough. But goal today, to be super on it with the eating once again. I was really proud of yesterday with being super on all the eating. I think I showed at the end of the last video, I did go out, got a double impossible burger with some fries and a drink. And I also came home later and I ate some corn checks to top off. That got me over that 6,000 calorie mark. So point is though, not today. I'm not eating 6,000 calories today because there's no run. Remember, whenever you're doing any sort of extra exercise, especially cardio, it's offsetting your calorie balance. So you have to eat more if you're trying to maintain or gain. So since there's no run today, I won't have to eat as much, but the goal is to still be super consistent with the timing of that and then have a really good leg workout. Make the workout tough. Oh, we got a kitty. Kitty Sam. We got Sam here. Hi, Bubba. You hear that? You're so sweet. All right, go play. So yeah, we're gonna have a kick ass leg workout today. And it's the weekend. Woohoo, nothing official planned. Just been a lot of editing with these vlogs, but it's been a really fun time. So thanks for your support so far. Hope you've been enjoying these. Please, again, let me know if you have any questions or anything you want me to answer. These are great times for me to answer those things. So, all right, let's get to the day. All right, as per usual, we've got the smoothie to start off the day. Here we go, 750-ish calories, plenty of protein. You know how we started off. So just doing this, chilling with some editing. It's a good morning so far. All right, thought I'd finally show you the infamous tofu scramble that I've been making for the past 2 days. So I'm just gonna show you just the general prep of how it's done. I actually made some rice, some jasmine rice on the stove. So I'm just gonna set that aside for now. You just make it the same way you make rice. Whatever the rice count is, double the water. I made 500 grams of dry rice and then added 1,000 grams, 1 kilogram of water to it. Boil it, simmer it. That's how you make rice. Make sure you wash the rice. Did I say that already? I can't remember. So with the tofu, first thing I do here is get some avocado oil on the pan. And that's because as a tall guy, avocado oil and cooking with oils in general is a really easy way to add in extra calories. So I'm just measuring it out right here. 28 grams of avocado oil, so that's 2 servings, so 2 tablespoons, and that adds about 260 calories for no food volume whatsoever. So luckily, using oil makes food taste good too. And I'm thankful that I get to use it for especially this first phase as far as bulking up and getting stronger. So avocado oil also has a higher smoke point than olive oil does, so it can cook at higher temperatures without creating any sort of carcinogenic compounds. So avocado oil is a little more expensive than avocado oil, but definitely worth it if you're gonna use cooking oil. But if you're trying to like lose weight, cooking oil spray is probably a lot better because it's way lower calories and still can grease up your pan and such. And from there I have this super firm organic tofu. And this stuff is really good. This whole block has about 70 grams of protein. It's pretty crazy. So what I do is I just take a knife and I cut the block in half. And then from there I kind of use the packaging as like a protector for my fingers. Not that it needs protecting or anything, but I crumble the tofu directly onto the pan from the package. And I'm just making half the package, so that's gonna come out to about 35 grams or so. That was not my best crumble job, and you probably can't see it very well. Anyway, and then from there, take this, put the rest in the fridge, put it in the baggie so it stays fresh. And I always like to cook the tofu first. Every time I watch cooking videos, it seems like people like cook like onions and stuff first, but I always feel like adding the vegetables after the tofu's cooked for a while makes the tofu better because the tofu just gets its time on the pan to harden up, to crisp up. And I think a lot of people don't like tofu because they don't prep it very well. Getting the super firm is really great because it already is going to hold more of like a meatier texture to it than like even like a normal firm or softer than that. So as firm as you possibly can, extra firm at least, super firm is even firmer. And then from here I just coat the tofu in the avocado oil and I try to crumble it up more with the spatula too. So crumble it up and then it's just going to be here on the pan for a while actually. And then every couple minutes, just kind of flipping it around. I am no chef, so there's no like specific amount of time that I'm setting for this. I'm just kind of eyeballing everything. But when it comes to tofu, when in doubt, cook it longer than you think. It's only gonna add more texture, more crispiness to the outside. It's gonna make it better. I used to be a guy who did not like tofu, but I've come to really love it after I've discovered the super firm and have learned how to cook it. Also kind of smooshing it down into the pan too, so it really just gets in there. And now let it cook. I'm on medium-high heat, by the way, medium-high, which for the longest time I used to cook on medium, but medium-high is just way better for like everything. So not adding a ton to this scramble today. I have half of a bell pepper, so using the food scale to help track, again, tracking everything in grams. When you track things in grams, it's way more accurate. So 70 grams of green peppers. I'm going to be putting that into the chronometer to track it here. And then as far as cutting it up goes, I just cut it, and I look like a noob because I don't know how to hold the knife professionally. And I've never cut my fingers though, even though I don't really do the knuckle thing. People do the knuckle thing when they cut. Just kind of rough cut, honestly. Like even these pieces aren't even. They're flying all over the place. You just gotta be, I'm just trying to keep it real. Like, you don't need to be perfect with this stuff. Like, that's good enough. It's cut up, it's gonna be fine. So, I put that in a little early. Oops. It'll be fine. Cook the peppers a little bit longer. I'll actually let the peppers just sit on top. I won't mix them in right now, because I did throw them in a little early. Oopsies. It's also getting hot. We're gonna strip down. This extra 1 pound from yesterday, really showing, huh? So now from here, if I was making potatoes, what I would do is I'd wash potatoes in the sink, and then, I don't know if you've ever seen this before, it's called a potato pouch. You get it from Amazon for like $5. You put your potatoes in there after you wash them, and it cooks in the microwave way faster than if you just microwave potatoes on their own, and crazy faster than if you were just baking potatoes. So you get, some couple good red potatoes in here. It'll be done in the microwave in like 6-7 minutes. And they always come out with the skin like a little hard, but the inside isn't really cooked all the way through. So, but we have the rice already prepped instead. Rice being a little more calorie dense than the potatoes. Potatoes are actually one of the most satiating foods out there as far as like calories per feeling full. So if you're somebody who's looking for more weight loss, potatoes might be better than rice in that case, but we're trying to make gains.
Plus, I've been really enjoying the white rice recently. Lower in fiber too than potatoes, so it digests a little bit easier. Now that it's been a few minutes with the tofu on the pan, just turn it around a little bit, and then just gonna leave it again. Stir it for a bit, leave it. Try to get the yellow sides to face up, the sides that have been cooking. So, and it's not perfect. A lot of this didn't even turn over at all, but it's gonna brown up, it's gonna crisp up, and it's gonna be super good. And now we just kind of wait. I'm gonna get out the kale though. So, this is just some standard kale from Target, pre-chopped, which is nice. I actually usually am someone who buys dino kale. I don't know if you've heard of that before. Maybe I'll throw up a photo right here of dino kale. It's a darker, like a really rich dark green. And because it's darker, leafier, greener, technically maybe a little healthier than standard kale. But standard kale, super good for you as well. Crazy low calories. A lot of people don't realize that green vegetables actually have a crazy high protein to calorie ratio. 50 calories in a serving for 4 grams of protein. And a serving is 2 cups, 85 grams. What you're gonna see here in a little bit is actually a lot of this bag. So again, if you're trying to go for weight loss, like unlimited green veggies, throw them on there. For me, trying to gain weight, we're not just gonna dump this whole bag in there, we're just gonna do a serving to get in those micronutrients too. But because kale is a leafy green, it wilts fast. Big cooking noob mistake would be to throw the kale on right now because it would wilt very quickly and would get really mushy and kind of nasty by the end. So I only really toss in the kale usually for like the last minute or 2 of cooking. Because then even when you turn the pan off, the pan's still hot, the pan's still cooking the food. So the kale does not need to go on until the very end. So resist the urge to throw the kale on. But this is getting real good, real crispy. I'll show you in a little bit. But we're just gonna keep stirring. And at this point here, probably just a couple more minutes, this is where I'm starting to think about grabbing the spices. Keep the spices pretty simple. Since I didn't chop up any onions, I'm actually out of onions. Whenever I don't add onions to stir fries, I always use a little onion powder. Always some garlic powder. Sprinkle as much of this on there as you want. It's only gonna make the food taste better. And then also a little bit of ginger. A good antioxidant spice to use, adds a nice little flavor to it as well. And then one of my favorite go-to seasonings for everyone are these multi-seasonings blends. I used to get one from Costco, but they don't really sell it anymore. This is a Lawry's 17 salt-free seasoning blend. So it's got a bunch of different just herbs and spices in here that goes on to anything savory. So how much should we put on there? I don't know. Just dump it. And be like, yeah, that sounds good. And if it's too much, then put less next time. And if you want more, just add more. Like, be intuitive with this stuff. This stuff doesn't have to be complicated or precise. Same with the garlic powder. Just putting it on. The ginger, give it a couple squeezes, boom. Onion powder, give it a little bit here too. And then, you just don't want the spices to burn, so you gotta just mix them in. And tis about time to add the kale. Now that everything on the pan here is getting pretty dry, it sounds like things aren't cooking that much. So, actually I need to weigh this. Can't get ahead of myself. So putting the bag on there, about 278 grams of the bag. I meant to tear it, but we check, 214, so that's about 60. And there we go. Okay, so that's one serving, 84, around 84, it's a little higher than that. 84 grams, now some fell out of the pan. Stovetop's disgusting, that's my bad. And we're just gonna toss in the kale as best we can. Should I subtract the 2 grams of kale that fell off the sides of the pan? No, it's just so minute. You know, when it comes to tracking, it's never gonna be 100% accurate anyway. This kale looks a little discolored. Hope this doesn't give me diarrhea. Nah, it should be fine. Should be fine. So now I'm gonna shut off the heat, because again, the pan's gonna stay hot while the kale finishes cooking down. I'm just gonna keep stirring. That way the kale doesn't burn, or get too wilty. Just mix it in with all the other hot stuff on the pan. Everything else on there is seasoned too, so now it's like massaging the seasoning onto the kale too, which will make it yummy. My back hurts from trying to twist like this. I don't know why I'm talking to the camera like this. Like my head's out of frame if I stand up straight. And this is pretty much done. So now, we don't want just plain white rice without any seasoning on it. We can get the seasonings in there too by just mixing it in. So, actually, you know what I need to do? Weigh out the rice. So I'll get my bowls. I only eat out of giant bowls for the most part. We'll put the bowl on the scale. And that way we can track the rice. Big old scoop. That's gonna be about 330. I'm actually just gonna do a little more. Round it off. Well, I didn't round it off. It's 363. 363, 363. I gotta remember, 363. And now we just toss it all in together, mash up that rice in here with everything else. You can hear it all sizzling still because the pan is still hot, even though the heat's been turned off for a while. So don't make that noob mistake of keeping the pan on after everything's cooked down, because it's still gonna cook even when you turn off the stove. So with all of that, here we are. Here's the final product. Let me show you. Check it out. Excuse me, Frodo. Frodo's laying on the tripod. Check it out. Right there. So we got the tofu mixed in with the rice and the greens and the peppers and the seasonings. You can see the seasoning just like right on there. The tofu nice and crisped up now from being on the pan. And from here, now all we're gonna do is we're gonna add some sauces. Let me grab those. So for the sauces, I like to do a little bit of maple syrup. Look how gross this looks. I need to clean this jar. But I literally just do like a dollop, which is about a serving. Adds another 100 calories. Maple syrup is pretty calorically dense, good for someone like me. And then this is actually my dad's hot sauce. My dad makes hot sauce and it's really good. Core of the earth, buffalo kick. It's got a nice medium spice level to it. 0 calorie sauce, super yummy. So just be generous with that. And now we mix it all together and we're gonna have our finished product. And there we have it, the tofu scramble with rice. I'll post all the final nutrients for that right here. It's a nice big meal, nice midday meal. Gonna chow down on this and hope you enjoyed that little recipe section. If you did, let me know. And if you want me to show you how I make more stuff, let me know too. And if you have any questions on this or some substitutes for it, let me know too.
Correct.
Woo! Chris is back! Yes! My workout buddy. So good to have you back. And thank you for filming, as always. We are on our way to the gym for leg day. Arguably one of the weakest parts on my own physique. We are going to make some leg and booty gains today. That is the plan. So got a bunch of exercises we'll be working through. You know, one thing about these vlogs that as I go back and edit them, I realize that I slur my words very often. So I need to enunciate better and work on my speech. I also think the sound of my voice might be a 6 out of 10. I need a darker, deeper, richer voice. So I'm gonna work on that. No, I'm just kidding, I'm gonna use my own voice, but I'm going to try to enunciate better. So sorry if it's been hard to understand certain things that I say. I'm rambling. We're off to the gym, it's gonna be good, and we're gonna have a fun time. Yeah. All right. All right, we're here at the gym. It's leg day. We're gonna warm up by doing some sled pushing and pulling, which has been a game changer for warming up the knees and the legs. So the idea is to just push the sled down. It's 20 yards down there, 20 yards back, pulling it, and that's what we're gonna do. So check it out. Yeah. You can just, I'm gonna edit this part out, but you don't have to follow me or anything here. You can just kind of just film it going down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay here then.
Yeah, cool. Sounds good. What's nice about these sleds is that the resistance, you can change it by moving the dial here. You can also add plates to add more resistance. So it's really good if you are working out with someone else too who might want lighter resistance or you want heavier. You can really easily adjust it, which is pretty sick. And then some of the sleds have a hip thingy like this. This one's old and has knots in it, so it's kind of uncomfortable, but it will do. And the goal here is trying to step the toes as far back behind the knees as possible. And then really lift the toes as you press through the heel. So just getting all of that lower leg warmed up and ready. And this feels really, really good on the knees. Trying to step as far back as possible. Torso as vertical as possible. And that is how you do it. And we're gonna do 4 rounds of that, and we'll be warm and ready. So if you're using the sled, but you don't have a hip attachment, a lot of the times you can also attach handles instead. And this works the same way. Arguably, you can get even more out of it because it's gonna activate your back muscles a bit too as you work to support it. But it's the same idea. You just do the backwards, stepping back, trying to drive the toe behind the knee. And with your posture here, you can work either with a nice, strong neutral spine, a rounded upper back. Really doesn't matter as long as you feel strong and supported and intentional with however you're doing it. And it feels just as good on the knees, whether it's the hip circle or whether it's the handles. Just don't run into anyone. In here pushing, just trying to drive through the toes as much as possible. Getting some range of motion, some mobility in the toes, which often don't get a lot. Stepping as far forward as possible, making the steps as big and intentional as possible. Cool. That's 2 rounds. Alrighty, kicking off now that we're warm. Can't you tell from the sweat? Kicking off the workout with some lying leg curls. So this is gonna be a hamstrings and glute focused exercise. The hamstrings are essentially like the biceps of the leg. So it's almost like a preacher curl for your leg biceps. So we're gonna do 4 sets of 10 with a really slow 4-second eccentric, or the lengthening, otherwise known as the negative. So I'm gonna try 170. I'm pretty good at this exercise. I'm pretty strong at it, I think. It's one of my stronger muscle groups in general. So we're gonna see how this feels. But make sure, especially if you're tall, that you have the pad lengthened out as far as possible, as far that way as possible, so that the pad sits right below the base of the ankle and the Achilles, and that this is adjusted so that it goes as low as possible to get as much range. Bless you. All right. Knees should be off the pad too. Here we go, set of 10. Oh man, this is heavy. I think we're gonna get it. Oh man, we're going lighter next set for sure. But right there, I almost fell for a common trap a lot of people fall for, which is you finish your last rep at the top and then you just let the weight go back down. But that last rep's a great time to go slow as you lengthen back out to really finish it as a quality rep. Anyway, let's rest up and we'll try that again. So with any sort of exaggerated lengthening phase, the total weight you can use is always going to be a lot less than if you were just doing like quicker reps. So that 170, well, I thought it was going to be good. Honestly, it was like too tough for right now. Like I've said in the other videos this week, it's still week 1. We want to put ourselves in a position to build up over time. That means leaving a little bit of something left in the tank at the end of each set. So we'll knock it down. This time we'll go 160, so 10 pounds less. We'll see how it feels. Just to give you guys a new angle. Something different to look at. All right. Going for 10. Set 2. Oh man, it's kind of a weak rep. Oh. Oh man, I'm being humbled. I'm being quite humbled. This is, once again, that felt tougher than I felt like it should have. I'm gonna go lighter for the last 2. Well, this is hard. Set 3. I did 160 last time. I'm just gonna go 150. 150. So don't forget, on a lot of these machines, the plates go up in increments of 10 or 15, but you always have these little sliders to add on the extra little 5s here and there. That way you can just add a little bit each week without making the big jumps to the next weight stack. So 40 plus 2 5s, that's 140 plus 2 5s is 150. I can do math. All right. Oh my, I shouldn't have slammed the weight right there. I'm being a baby. This is so humbling. Shout out to Coach John for prescribing the 4 seconds on the way down. This is kicking my butt. You know, I'm really glad we're documenting all this. You know why? Because these ass-kicking workouts, the ones that, again, really humble you, where I thought I was a lot stronger, but I'm not, it's gonna be nice to look back at this and see how much we'll move forward over the next few months. It's gonna be fun to progress this. This is just being accountable. Yes, I am weaker at this than I thought. Time to get better. Because we got our whole lives to get strong, and it begins now. So I lowered down to 140 for the last set of 10. We'll make it good quality. Let's go. Slide. Oh my God. Oh, I'm gonna cry, man. I'm being such a baby. That's so intense though. Oh man. It's like I've never done these, even though I was doing these for a long time, but not with that much eccentric control. Wow. All right, that's done. Yay. All right, we're on to leg press. Now, one thing I like about the 24-Hour Fitness here is that this is like a pendulum style leg press, which you don't really find at most gyms. So instead of it just pressing straight up and straight back, or diagonally at an angle, it gives sort of like a sweeping motion. So it gives a little bit more of a quad focus, which is nice. And it helps get like basically lots of leg bend that you wouldn't traditionally get on a normal leg press machine. So we're gonna do a set of 15 here, and we're gonna give 260 a try. We're gonna see how that goes. Nice pause at the stretch position, really controlled reps. Let's see how it goes. Also, you may or may not notice a brand new hole ripped into these brand new shorts. That's what I get for being stupid and getting 4-inch lifting shorts on a 6'8" person. The crotch just rips open. Yes, my underwear are green. All right, let's do this. The pause is right here. That way it's good to the knee tendons. As much bend as possible. Oh man. 'How's the crotch hole? That was tough. All right, so we're only gonna do 2 sets of that. First set, done. Felt pretty good. Well, Chris had just repped out 220 like it was nothing. Making my 260 look bad. So I am bumping up to 280. I think I can nail that for another 15. I think I'm just being a little crybaby on leg day. Time to shaping up. You're inspiring. 220 like it was nothing. I hope this rips a huge hole in my pants. .138 heart rate. Steady state, baby. I'm glad I went up. Thanks for being inspiring. All right, next up we've got adductors, the muscles on the inner thigh that add your leg towards your body. That's how you remember the difference between ab and add. The adductors add it towards your body. But I like to call this machine watermelons. Like if you had a big watermelon and you just crushed it, same kind of thing. Now when you set up on this, go a little wider than you think, because when you get into this, you don't want to just sit and put your legs in. What I like to do is get up top above it, and then slide into it, like this. And then you're ready to go. And because this area is tight, especially on guys, work on big pause at the end. Just let that stretch out. Yes. Oh. 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 Haven't done those in forever. Another very humbling move. But holding that stretch at the end, that's how you gain more mobility here. Again, an area that's tight on most. Can you see the hole in the shorts? All right, 2 sets of those totals. That's 1 more to go. All right, 1 more set of that. This machine's weird. It has like levels on it. It doesn't tell you the weights unless you look at the very side on the sticker. And so I'm at only 67 pounds for this. But that was really intense, that last set. But since it's only 2 sets, since it's 2 sets, we're gonna tough it out. I was able to get this a little bit wider though. And again, starting from the top and then easing in. Yeah, spread it. Touch the pads together. Oh, it's gonna rip. Oh, you know, surprisingly, felt better than the first set. Sometimes you just need, I should have done a warm-up set is what I should have done. The other machines, the other exercises we've done, we did warm-up sets before we got into those working sets that were filmed. Didn't warm up on this one, and I think that's why the first set felt way harder than it should have. So keep that in mind for next time, and you keep that in mind too. All right, next up, we've got the bane of my existence and everyone who does leg days, the dreaded Bulgarian split squat. If you've done these before, you know just how hard they really are. They always make my butt sore. No matter how often I do them, they are always tough. But we're gonna do our best here. Elevated front foot. Now this is a tall person tip that I would have for anyone who's got long legs, even if you're shorter with long legs, because without it, your range of motion is pretty limited to when your knee touches the ground. But if you can elevate your front foot by just standing on a couple plates, that all of a sudden unlocks a lot more range of motion, a lot more depth, so you get a lot more of the glute gains or the quad gains, depending on how far away the plates are too. The closer your foot is to the back leg, the more quad focus it's gonna be. And the farther out this way, the more glute focus it's gonna be. So we have a bit more of a glute focus for this one because we got more of a quad focus on the leg press. So we're gonna try a set of 8 on each leg. See how it goes. 35s here. Been working on this move for a while, so should go okay. Should be tough though. Always is. Whoa, almost falling. Ooh. Okay, that's hard. Wow. So before doing the other leg, I always try to give a 15 to 20 second recharge before hitting the next leg. Because if not, you're not giving yourself a fighting chance because it elevates your heart rate quite a bit. And you want to try to dial back the focus. Okay, next leg. That mini break helps a ton. Oh man. Wow, right leg feels way better than the left. That's also why I started with the left though. If you've got a weaker leg or, you know, weaker knee or hip or whatever, start on the weak side when you're freshest. So it always knocks the wind out of you. 2 sets of this. So 1 set down, resting up a couple minutes, and we'll hit it again. My lovely camera woman working overtime finishes her set of Bulgarian split squats, and then I say, film me, while she's trying to catch her breath. You saw how I was at the end of the last set. I was like, so a nice sitting angle for filming. Thank you for filming. All right, last set of this crap. Starting again with the weak leg. Thinking of it as just a single leg squat. So same mechanics as a squat. Knee bends, butt goes down. Nice. Oh, man. The required 15 to 20 second break. Do you like this exercise? You person watching? Do you hate it too? Let me know. And today's random middle of the video question: what is your favorite leg exercise? Don't you dare say it's this one. Just kidding. If it is, say it. But let me know. And if you write it down in the comments, I'll know that you made it to this random part in the middle of the video. I'm just buying myself more time. Time to get the other leg. Oh man. Oh. I didn't say my favorite leg exercise. They all suck. I guess. Hold on. I guess my favorite leg exercise that I look forward to, probably leg extensions. Kind of like the leg curl, but we're gonna do those in a second, but that's pretty good. I like seated calf raises too. With these calves, you wouldn't expect that, but I also like that move. So yeah, what's your favorite leg move? Those are done. Let's move on. Okay, so apparently, just like yesterday, the gym's closing really soon. Didn't realize it. It is Saturday night, but it's almost 8. I didn't realize they closed that early. So much for 24-hour fitness. Let's call it 12-hour, 16-hour fitness. I'm definitely not the first person to make that joke. Most important thing with leg extensions, quad focus here. Knee should line up with the pivot point. So for tall people especially, you have to adjust your seat back. Tuck your butt, tuck your ass into the crevice, and make sure your knee lines up with the pivot point here. From there, a slight lean forward of the body rather than leaning back, and the weight doesn't need to be crazy heavy. We're gonna keep it at 100. I haven't done these in forever, so we're just gonna keep it at 100 and see if we can get at least 15 here. Always controlling the bottom. Or pausing at the bottom, I should say. Oh man, those burn like crazy. Nice. All right, 2 more sets. The guy just yelled, they close in 5. Gotta wrap these up. On that last set, I didn't have this set so that it was giving max range at the bottom. So now we have a little bit more range to work with here. Still tucking the butt into the crevice, slight lean forward. Oh. Spicy. That burns. Cool, one more. Okay, we're officially about to be kicked out, so just gonna wrap up this last set. We don't have time to do the calf raises, so I'm missing out on calves again. Sorry, coach. But we'll make up for it. We got lots of time to get them done throughout the months to come. We're just doing what we can. That's how life goes sometimes. It's never gonna be perfect. Oh man. Oh. Shoot. That was good. Happy leg day.
All right, end of leg day. I think we're gonna be sore tomorrow, and I believe on our schedule we have another run tomorrow. Chris is making a face, and so am I. We shall assess. We'll assess when the time comes. But had a great gym sesh. It's Saturday night, so we're ready to chill and hang out. Still have quite a few more calories to consume. I realize with these vlogs, I've gotten into just like the habit of filming the food and stuff kind of in the beginning and the middle of the day, but never at the end. Hopefully, I want that to change. I want to try to make, update more on the food stuff at night. But we've just been having late gym sessions, and it's, again, it's the weekend. We're just trying to chill. So still keeping myself accountable though. We'll report in tomorrow's vlog the total calorie intake for tonight and for the whole day. And we'll just do our daily updates and stuff. So thanks again for watching. Thanks for coming along on the journey. Hope you've been enjoying the vids. Again, please let me know if you have any sort of critiques or like anything you want to share, honestly, or any questions I can answer for you too. I am here for you, and I want to be there just as much as you are for me here. It really, really means the world. So thanks so much, and we'll see ya in the next video. That's the new sign off. Maybe? Deja vu.